Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with us by hitting that subscription button right below in red. It's free of charge. You don't pay anything for it, and it helps the channel. And also don't forget to hit the bell notifications for new uploads. I want to thank every single one of you for all your beautiful comments and your support. Thank you so much. And I would like to mention that right up top, there's 3 little buttons. You can click there to slow down the video to the speed you would like if I'm too fast for you. Also, right next to it, there's the CC, closed caption. You can turn that on and you can pause the video and take notes of everything that will be written down here on the stitch that I will be calling. In case you don't have the CC up there or the 3 little buttons on the video up top, there's 3 little buttons. You just click there on the settings and it's in there. You can slow down the video and also turn your closed caption on. The next thing I would like to mention is in the description box, everything is always listed below. There's a little arrow right, like a V, upside down, right below the video on the right side. If you click that little arrow, everything will be in the description box. So I have my Facebook page for the crochet. I also have a Facebook group, crochet, that you can join if you have a profile on your Facebook. And you can join us in the group. It's a private group. So, of course, you have to have a profile. If you don't, then unfortunately you can't, because there's too many scammers going around with the groups, and I want to make sure that we're all safe and nobody's going around scamming anybody. I see a lot of that in the groups nowadays, and I'm taking myself away from the groups due to that fact, and also the fact that there's some nastiness going on, especially coming out of administration's mouth. That's not a good thing. So I decided to create my own, inviting you to be part of it if you'd like to. What else? So I also would like to mention, if you please want to help to donate for the women in need of thread and yarn, I need your help to buy them the thread and yarn. I have my PayPal account below in the description box. You can donate whatever you feel like. Everything adds up at the end, so we can help these women to get them busy with, creating some pieces and distract their minds from the daily life stress that they might be going through. It could be a mental stress, it could be family stress, it could be mothers alone with children that cannot afford to buy these threads and yarn. So I really want to help them out, and the only way I can do it is by you and I together helping them out. So please be generous and help out. It doesn't matter the amount. And I want to thank you so much for helping. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm sure they will appreciate you too, very, very much so. So thank you again. Anything else? I hope I'm not forgetting. So normally when I'm calling out the stitch and I say chain 1 for space, and I usually say chain 1 separation, that means for space. If your stitch is too tight, then do an extra chain. So instead of doing 1, you do 2 chain. If your stitch is too loose, then do less 1 chain. Also, when your stitch is extremely tight, you should go with the hook, 1 hook size bigger than your normal that you use, because that will help to loosen up the stitch when you're going into the second row and try to put your stitches in. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. We're going to get started. Please also share, give a thumbs up on the video. It helps to circulate the video and have the channel to be recognized. Share on your Facebook public with your family and friends. Have them join us together as one big family. So thank you so much, everybody. I send much hug and love to every single one of you, and many blessings from the universe. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, everyone. So today we're going to create this beautiful flower. And I added a pearl in the center. And this is for a doily that we're going to create. Now, you can create it as a doily. You can go bigger, create it as a tablecloth also, which is gorgeous. I have done a tablecloth with this doily already in the past and sold it, of course. So I'll show you if you want. Of course, you can use this for many other patterns, but if you want to use it for the doily that I'm going to create right after this video, then stay tuned for that, and I will link all the links below also for it. So very simple. I had extra pieces of yarn that usually when I have, when I use certain rolls and then there's some left over, I'll just turn it all into a big ball. So I got a pretty good ball for that, which is a multicolored rusted, I guess rusted if you want to call it. And of course, hook. This is a 4-ply, 100% cotton thread. These are Portugal threads. 3 size hook, a small one to tuck in loose ends, and of course a pair of scissors. I will show you the doily in case you're interested to create the same one. And this is the flower that I've used for it. Now this has been quite a few years since I've done this, so it's getting pretty old, but you can also create a tablecloth with it, or even a rug, to put in an area where there's not too much traffic, where you can use in a small table or a window table and put the rug underneath, which looks gorgeous. But this is the cloth, the doily. If you're interested to create it, stay tuned for that tutorial. So we're going today to create the flower, which is very simple, very delicate. So we're going to get started, people. So the first thing you want to do is make that magic circle, which you just turn once in your fingers. Grab the thread from behind, bring it to the front, and just bring the circle to the front. Put your thread into position, hold it so it doesn't run out. Chain 3 inside of this magic circle. We're going to do 15 more double crochet. So we're going to have a total with the 3 chains, 16 double crochets. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. In case you still cannot figure out the magic circle, you can do chain 5 or I think chain 5 is enough. You don't need chain 6 or else the hole in the middle will be too big. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. I've arrived at the end with my 16 double crochets. I'm just going to pull in my magic circle, close my ring. On the 3rd chain, we're going to close it in with slip stitch. I'm going to go over with a slip stitch, not slip stitch, next double crochet, and I'm going to do a single, just so we can be centered in the middle of that double crochet. 1, 2, 3, chain 3. We're going to skip a space. So we're going to skip this space and going to the next one, single, 1, 2, and 3. Skip a space into the next one, single. So we're going to do these little loops 8 times. I'll meet you at the end. Coming to the end where I started my first single, I'm going to come in and I'm going to slip stitch my last one. So you're supposed to have 8 loops, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to come into the first loop with a single. I'm going to do 2 double crochets, just like that, and chain 3 for picot. Now my picot, I do a slip stitch on here because I don't want an opening. Chain 3 again, come back into the same space and another slip stitch. So I have 2 picots. I'm going to do 2 double crochets and 1 single. So it's going to look like that. Okay, coming into the next loop, and I'm going to proceed the same way again. Single, 2 double crochets, chain 3 for picot, 1, 2, 3. Now you don't have to do picots at all. You can just do chain 1 and continue 1. But this is what brings the beauty in the pattern. So chain 3 again, back into the first slip stitch. Continue again with 2 double crochets and a single. So now we have the second paddle on there, flower, I guess. So I'll meet you at the end. I've arrived in my last one. I did my single, and I'm coming in where I first started with a slip stitch. I'm going to pull my string a bit, and I'm going to turn my flower to the back. I'm going to come from behind, grab a smaller one here, and I'm going to pass this thread to the back because we need to create little loops to create the next row. I should be doing this with a smaller hook because it pulls my thread through it, but I never learned my lesson, you know. Okay, so grab your thread to the back, and there we go. And do chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where we have that single between the two paddles here, we're going to do right under and do a single. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to pass our hook from the back into the front and into the back and do a single. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again the same thing. Pass our hook from the back to the front to the back and single. We're going to continue to create these little loops as you see them. Okay, so we're going to have 8. I'll meet you at the end. I've arrived at the end, and I'm going to grab my first chain I did here, and I'm going to go in with a slip stitch. Coming into the loop, I'm going to do a single and a chain. Double crochet, triple, and one more triple. One chain. I'm going to do exactly what I just finished doing. So 2 triples, double, 1 chain, and single. So you have your first paddle. Now in between the front paddles here, we're going to come exactly where we did that single, right on the first row. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to give it a nice stretch and go back in again for the second time. So just to give it an effect on the flower, just like that. Then I'm going to work on the loops again, exactly as we've just finished doing. Single, 1 chain, double crochet, and 2 triples. So we have the first, so we turn twice. So now we've done the 2 triples, a single, and again 2 triples, a double crochet, 1 chain, and single. So now we have the second paddle. Now we're right in between the first 2 flowers here. We're going to come down here where the double crochet is. We're going to give it a stretch on the thread and close it in. And again, come back down, give it a stretch, and close it in. And automatically, we're going to work on the back loop again. Single and 1 chain. Double crochet, 2 triples. So we have our first, and we have our second. 1 chain, 2 triples again, double crochet, chain, and single. Now if you need to rewind and check how it's proceeded, then go ahead. So now you know we're going to come in where we have that right below. You can see the single we worked on. Give it a stretch and close it in with slip stitch. Give it a stretch and close it in again with slip stitch, and then go to the back and work on your loop. Okay, so this is pretty much how the flower is. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I finished my last single. I'm going to come in my last one. Going to stretch my thread, do a slip stitch, come back in the same space, stretch it. Now I have my first single here with that one chain that we did, that we started off the petal, and I slip stitch through it. I'm just going to pull my thread out, and I'm going to pass it through the back and give it a few knots back here, just to make sure that nothing is going to come apart. I'm just going to give it a knot here. We'll be good to go. And pass through one more back here. And cut my excess because we don't need it anymore. Okay, so poor thing looks all crumpled up. Doesn't matter. Now, you could do it two ways. I forgot to mention at the beginning to leave a little bit of string if you're doing a magic circle. And if you're not doing the magic circle, then just cut a piece of thread through here, put your purl on, come in, and pass your thread to the back, both sides, across from each other, and make a knot back there. So very simple. And if you're doing a circle and you have extra thread, then you would pass it to the front, put your purl on, so I put my purl on. I'm going to come right across from it. So you want to line that up because you don't want it to be crooked. And from behind with my hook, I'm just going to come into more or less the same direction and pull that thread to the back. So now my thread is in the back. I'm going to come right across and pull my thread through it and give it a knot. Pull it well, and it's pretty good because these are going to be glued onto my pattern, so it doesn't matter. There's a little knot back there showing up, and then I'm just going to pass my thread through some of the loops back here just to make sure that nothing comes apart. And we're good to go. So, purls on. And like I said, this is going to be glued like this into my pattern. So now we're going to come in with the green for the leaves. Just wanted to show you, again, what I'm doing is just using pretty much a lot of leftovers because I have so many leftover threads. So why not and put them to use, right? Why waste when we can use it on many different things, right? So we're going to do slip stitch knot. I'm going to come in where we have that single that we pulled the thread, remember? I'm going to come in right in here with the stitch, and I'm going to do a single. I'm going to pull my thread so I can hide at the same time. I'm going to do chain 3. Now if your chain is too tight, then do a chain 4. This would be a 2, and this is a 3. I'm going to come right in the center where we did that 1 chain separation. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So right after the 4, you do a single. Chain 3, picot, slip stitch, back into the same space, single. Chain 4 now, just to give it a little bit more height. Slip stitch, come back in, and chain 3. So I'm doing chain 3, chain 4, and chain 3 to make these little leaves. Come back in, single. So I have my 3 little leaves there. And chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to come in where I have that big stretch we did with the thread and do a single. So you have your first cover of your leaf, your flower. And again, 1, 2, 3, come in between the separation of the petal, single, chain 3. I'm going to come in and do a slip stitch. Come in again with a single, chain 4, and slip stitch. Come in again with a single, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch. Come in with a single, and chain 3. Come in where we have the big loop stretched, where the single is, where we closed in, and do a single. And we're going to repeat this all the way to the end, and we're pretty much done. So you can use this on any pattern you like. And like I said, if you want to continue to do the same thing as my doily that I'm going to create next, then please stay tuned for it. I will, once I'm done with the doily, I will link it below on the flower. Now, for this size of doily, you need 6 flowers. So if you want to create the same doily as I would suggest you start creating your flowers, your 6 flowers. Get them all ready, because once you finish the doily, all you have to do is hot gun glue them in, like I did here with mine. These are all hot gun glue, and nothing comes off, even if you wash it. Okay? So thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Don't forget to give a thumbs up. It's very important for the video. And please help to donate for the women in need. Thank you so much, everyone. Until next time. Bye-bye.